Now you can easily bring your projects to life with Dulux BIM Solutions. Dulux BIM Solutions provides easy-to-use BIM content, so you can add Dulux colours and product ranges to your Revit and ArchiCAD models quickly and simply. The latest Dulux BIM content update now includes the Dulux World of Colour and product ranges from Dulux Powder Coatings, Dulux Protective Coatings, Dulux Acrotex, Dulux Avista and Intergrain Timber Finishes. Dulux BIM Solutions, inspiring creativity.
An award-winning Tasmanian winery has rethought the cellar door experience with the aid of a carbon-neutral brick.
The material palette was selected to respond to the way that Lou and Joy make their wine, which they're all about being as natural and being as authentic as possible. When we were picking materials, we wanted that and a response to the Tasmanian context and a way to sort of ground a small building in the landscape.
We were approached to see if we could help Dave and Barbara with their new home. It was an immediate yes. Being part of the community is stitched into Taubman's DNA, and we'll do what we can where we can to help. Dave and Barbara have fostered 400 children in the last 27 years, so we obviously needed a really robust product. We used Taubman's Endure, which is a water-based low VOC product that has been approved by the National Asthma Council of Australia's Sensitive Choices program.
Colorbond, made by Australia.
The 2023 New South Wales Architecture Awards are proudly supported by the Australian Institute of Architects National Corporate Partners, Taubmans, Alspec, BlueScope, Lysart, Fielders, Dulux, Brickworks, Bondorma Techno, SMEG, Planned Cover, Architecture Media, and the Image Makers Association, as well as chapter partners Scheme and Westox. For over 40 years, the Australian Institute of Architects has upheld excellence across the profession. The Institute recognises and celebrates all efforts of our members, projects and teams in shaping communities through inspirational architecture across Australia and overseas. Welcome to the 2023 New South Wales Architecture Awards.
Welcome to tonight. So it is lovely to see you all here. Can I also welcome City of Sydney's Mayor, Clover Moore. Gracious to see you. And to the events teams managers that put this all together. Can I acknowledge country? We're on the land of the Gadigal people. I'm fortunate enough to be born on the land of the Gadigal people in 1948, along with my siblings as well. Some are part of the tapestry here, part of the facade as we speak. For my elders, both past, present, emerging, our children will be our leaders of tomorrow. They will take us into the new realm. They will show us the way, teach us, show us wisdom, culture, history in a vibrant fashion. To the men that are standing beside me here, Dean, one of the greatest men I know doing culture, history and dance. And now he does it, how he performs it. Kevin, beautiful. Richie and Matt. Our men are our warriors, and we see these as our leaders. We the women, we are the birthers, we are the nurturers, we are the storytellers. It's our men that follow us and guide us and take us through the country. I'd also be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my mother's country, a wandering woman from the Yuin Nation, South Coast, the woman who brought me here, brought me into the world, the woman that nurtured me and gave me a voice, taught me how to give unstintedly to others, taught me to nurture as well. My dad showed me the wisdom and guided me, gave me strength. My dad, a stolen generations child, taken away in 1912 when his mother was died in childbirth, spent the first 15 years of his life in Bomaderry Children's Home. Then he spent another 15 years as a slave out in Moree at a railway siding called Gurley. Never once did he sit at the table and eat with people and put his feet under their kitchen table. His meals were put on a tin plate, slid out the door where the dog comes in. Myself followed later on in 1956 as a stolen child. Really wasn't stolen. My mum had a heart attack. We were removed in 1956, 8:30 in the morning, charged with neglect, separated, and the boys went to one home, the girl, and my sister and I went to the other homes. We enjoyed that. I enjoyed sexual abuse there as well. These things I have in my heart. I will carry to the day I die. If we all here can walk and talk together and listen and walk in harmony and humility, it says who we are as a people. We are Australians. And I said this before at the stadium, at the football. We are Australians. We need to think as Australians. We need to be guided as Australians and talk to each other as Australians. We have welcomed many, many visitors from overseas when they've come to settle in this great country of ours, what we call Australia. We can all do it together if we only put our minds, hearts and souls into it. Let's show we can do it as a people. And my people, we are the first architects. We are the first builders. We are the first storytellers, nurses, doctors. When we look at Aboriginal people and our people, First Nations people of Australia, we are the first in everything. We are older than the pyramids, Great Wall of China, the Parthenon, Stonehenge. We are older than all these as a people. I stand before you united, humble and giving, and I give unstintedly myself, my voice, along with my fellow men beside me, our warriors. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your night, enjoy your awards that you receive, and remember who were the first architects. Thank you very much.
Hello everybody, welcome to this year's New South Wales Architecture Awards. It's really fantastic to see you both here in the room and on the Zoom, because we're live streaming tonight as well. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Adam Haddo. I'm the current president of the New South Wales chapter of the Institute of Architects. Firstly, I'd like to thank Arnie Barbara Keeley-Sims for her generous welcome to Country, and also the dancers Dan Kelly, Kevin Heath, Richie Chan Hampton and Matt Marsh. Thank you very much. Understanding country is central to architecture, and as a profession, we embrace the opportunity to consciously engage with country to ensure that our future history better addresses and acknowledges the environmental knowledge and the social narratives of our First Nations people. We should be incredibly thankful to our First Nations friends and colleagues for the generosity of sharing their knowledge. In that vein, and on behalf of everyone here tonight, I'd like to acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the people of the land on which we are currently meeting, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to thank all of the First Nations people on the lands on which we work, from the Warradji people in the south to the Ngunnawal and Mudjabal people from the Budjalong country in the north, all the way to the Wulyakali people in Western New South Wales. I'd also like to send a specific welcome and acknowledgement to all First Nations people in the room and on the Zoom tonight. The Uluru Statement from the Heart is the culmination of 13 regional dialogues with First Nations people which arrived at a consensus about what constitutional recognition should look like. The statement is an invitation from First Nations people to all Australians, and one of its key features is to ask Australians to support a meaningful constitutional recognition through a First Nations voice. Whether or not people choose to vote in favour of the voice is a matter for each of you. The instigator for the upcoming referendum is the Uluru Statement from the Heart.
Uluru Statement from the Heart. We, gathered at the 2017 National Constitutional Convention, coming from all points of the southern sky, make this statement from the heart. Our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander tribes were the first sovereign nations of the Australian continent and its adjacent lands, and possessed it under our own laws and customs. This our ancestors did according to the reckoning of our culture from the creation, according to the common law from time immemorial, and according to science more than 60,000 years ago. This sovereignty is a spiritual notion, the ancestral tie between the land or Mother Nature and the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples who were born therefrom, remain attached thereto, and must one day return thither to be united with our ancestors. This link is the basis of the ownership of the soil, or better, of sovereignty. It has never been ceded or extinguished, and coexists with the sovereignty of the Crown. How could it be otherwise, that people possessed a land for 60 millennia and this sacred link disappears from world history in merely the last 200 years? With substantive constitutional change and structural reform, we believe this ancient sovereignty can shine through as a fuller expression of Australia's nationhood. Proportionally, we are the most incarcerated people on the planet. We are not an innately criminal people. Our children are aliened from their families at unprecedented rates. This cannot be because we have no love for them. And our youth languish in detention in obscene numbers. They should be our hope for the future. These dimensions of our crisis tell plainly the structural nature of our problem. This is the torment of our powerlessness. We seek constitutional reforms to empower our people to take a rightful place in our own country. When we have power over our destiny, our children will flourish. They will walk in two worlds, and their culture will be a gift to their country. We call for the establishment of a First Nations voice enshrined in the Constitution. Makarrata is the culmination of our agenda, the coming together after a struggle. It captures our aspirations to a fair and truthful relationship with the people of Australia and a better future for our children based on justice and self-determination. We seek a Makarrata Commission to supervise the process of agreement making between governments and First Nations and truth-telling about our history. In 1967, we were counted. In 2017, we seek to be heard. We leave base camp and start our trek across this vast country. We invite you to walk with us in a movement of the Australian people for a better future.
The Australian Institute of Architects unequivocally supports the Uluru Statement from the Heart. In addition, the Institute's National Council and Board have voted to support the yes vote in the upcoming referendum on constitutional recognition and the voice to Parliament. We invite members to fully inform yourselves before voting, and you can find the statement of support on the Institute's website. To all of you, our members, without your active and collective engagement, the Institute wouldn't exist. You are truly a remarkable group of people. Together, you give form to the ambition of our communities, you persecute ideas for the betterment of society, and you aim to deliver sensational outcomes that allow the community to better see themselves. You balance budgets, regulation and briefs, and in each case you squeeze them dry to ensure that you're getting more from less. Collectively, you make New South Wales different to everywhere else on the planet. You give form and structure to our state and ensure that it stays unique. But we are at a crossroads. Homelessness and housing are in crisis. I would go as far to say that our society has developed a toxic relationship with housing. We've lost consciousness of our collective need to see housing as a human right. We've been educated to understand housing as an investment that would grow to secure our future, rather than seeing housing as a right that gives us a future. On average, we are the wealthiest country on the planet. However, dealing with changes around housing will be difficult, and it has the potential to completely rock our communities to their core. But we can do it, because if we don't do it now, when will we do it? Collectively, our profession has the capacity, knowledge and skill to investigate and explain housing to the public, so that individual outrage directed at three-storey buildings within close proximity to a train station yields to a collective concern around finding deliverable solutions so that our communities are housed in sustainable and affordable housing. Thankfully, we've done it before. At the end of World War II, we undertook one of the largest construction programs ever. Personally, my early life was spent in social housing in rural Victoria. It was basic, but it gave my parents, a teacher and a housewife, security and support. Without that government-funded housing, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thankfully, we have emerged from COVID and the pandemic, not only with our health intact, but also with a new political alignment. There's no better time for a housing revolution than when we have state and federal government alignment. The time is now. Minister Scully, thank you for coming, attending tonight. We are incredible fans of your agenda, and we welcome the early announcements that you and Premier Minns and the Minister for Housing, Jackson, have made. We are right behind you as you test options and scenarios to deliver better outcomes. As with all support, though, it's not unconditional. We will challenge you to do better, we will ask you to do better, and we'll ask you to do more. We'll ask challenging questions, but really from the bottom of our hearts, we will do it because we believe that housing is the very basis of a fair and equitable society. It should also be noted that we have one of the most successful mayors the state has ever seen here tonight. To you, Clover Moore, thank you for your leadership for the past 19 years. You are remarkable. We truly appreciate the support you give the profession and through it, the positive community building you've achieved during your stewardship of this city. Thank you for coming. We look forward to as an institute, we look forward to all levels of government working together to reframe the housing discussion as one of human rights. Sustainable and affordable housing is essential to New South Wales being the place that people want to be. As an industry, we not only look forward to helping you deliver housing solutions, but doing it with beauty, delight and joy. To everyone here, thank you for your commitment and professionalism. We have remarkable talent in our profession. Truthfully, you are world leaders in your craft. I look forward to working with you as President over the next few years to deliver a considered and proactive leadership, particularly on housing and sustainability. As President, on behalf of the entire membership, I'd like to thank all of the Institute staff for making tonight possible. In particular, Peter Fry, thank you. And also to thank all of the chapter councillors here tonight. You would expect that as President I would have a special oversight and knowledge of tonight's winners. I do not. I made a conscious effort to ensure that I was isolated from all of the discussions and the communications, so tonight will be as much a surprise for me as it is for all of you. To this end, I'd like to thank all of the jurors, the chairs of the juries, and in particular the chair of chairs, Helen Lockhead. Thank you. It's a lot of time and a lot of effort, but without your volunteer work, this wouldn't happen, so thank you very much. The only exception to my lack of knowledge regarding the awards tonight is the New South Wales Emerging Architect Prize. As President, I chair that jury, along with Chin Yi Lim, Caroline Kite and Philip Chum. The prize is sponsored by BlueScope, and I'd like to invite the New South Wales Specification Manager for BlueScope, Hazel Derrett, to the stage to present the certificate. The Emerging Architect Prize recognises an outstanding contribution to architectural practice, education, design excellence and community involvement, advancing the profession's role within the public arena. As a jury, we had an incredibly difficult time determining this award. It's the best of the best. Each of the nominees is making an incredible contribution to our profession and the community across gender leadership, materials research, built practice excellence and advocacy. Truly, everyone deserves recognition. But I'm not a millennial, so not everyone gets a prize. There was one individual who completely stood out for their contribution. This year, the 2023 New South Wales Emerging Architecture Prize is awarded to Ben Peake.
Ben Peake is awarded the 2023 New South Wales Australian Institute of Architects Emerging Architect Prize in recognition of his extensive leadership and demonstration of the role of architects as agents of social and cultural change. As Design Director of Carter Williamson Architects, Ben is an esteemed leader and colleague, responsible for many of the firm's awarded projects and expanding the company's capability into public architectural projects. Congratulations, Ben Peake.
So this is awesome. Thanks Adam, thanks BlueScope, and thanks to the jury. I'd like to also congratulate all the other shortlisted people, architects in this category. I think it was really great that the Institute published the shortlist this year, just to show the breadth of the profession, but also to head towards a more diverse and representative profession of the communities we serve. I really love my career in architecture, but obviously it needs a lot of support. So thanks to my partner Matt, who's been there from the very start. My friend and colleague Julie, who's been a great collaborator from all the projects I've worked on. Amira in our office, who sort of helped run the Save Our Series campaign out of Carter Williamson. And of course, Sean. Sean couldn't be here today, but he's viewing from Oslo. I'd just like to thank him for his leadership, support and encouragement. Thank you.
Well done, Ben. My last duty for tonight is to introduce the host of tonight's awards. For the past 14 years, Peter Colquhoun has been a resident architect on Better Homes and Gardens. His extensive TV credits come across a variety of TV genres, from lifestyle and reality, and he was also commentary, I think, Sydney, Athens and Beijing Olympic Games broadcasts. That's pretty amazing. In more recent years, Peter's also an architect, and he was part of the team working with DBJ, which won the National Architecture Prize for the North Bondi Surf Club. He's published books on Australian architecture, and in particular Sandcastles, which is based on a television show that he organised or came up with the idea, and he hosted and did that. So it gives me great pleasure to introduce our host there, and put your hands together for Peter.
I think I should just get Ben Peake back up here, I think, and continue the night. Let's have a bit of fun. Where's Adam gone? I'm clearly overdressed, but thanks. Well, he's dressed like a president. Yeah. Lazensky, like, you know. Well, good evening, everyone. What an incredible space to be awarding the top honours in our state for architecture. It truly is a privilege and a great honour as an architect and working in the media, and it's the first big architectural awards I've actually hosted, so it's a big night for me. Now, before we get underway, there's a few points for New South members to note. This is important. Get your diaries out. The Country Division Architecture Awards are open for submissions. Now, they're open to all architects who have completed a project in the regions of New South Wales. Award winners in the Country Division, this is important, in the Architecture Awards, will have the opportunity now to go straight through to the 2024 New South Wales Awards. Now, submissions close on July 31, with the awards to be held on Friday, 20th of October in Byron Bay. Take your board shorts. Also, put in your diaries the Newcastle Architecture Awards. Open Monday, July 3, with the awards being held in Newcastle on November 17. No one's writing anything. Anyway. Now, a reminder to keep your phones on silent and don't be distracted unless it's a new client or your PI insurer or someone. If you're lucky enough to win an award, let alone one of the named awards, we invite you to the podium to be presented with your certificate. Please keep in mind that the named award winners and the major prize recipients will be invited to give a brief 2-minute speech, if you like. If you have a commendation, congrats in advance, but in the interest of time, please stay seated for commendations. You'll pick up your certificate from the Institute staff following tonight's show next to the media wall as you came in. And now to a couple of special prizes, real special prizes, unique to the New South Wales chapter, the first of which is the City of Sydney Lord Mayor's Prize. The Lord Mayor selects the prize recipient, and for the announcement, it's my pleasure to bring to the stage the Right Honourable, the Lord Mayor of Sydney, Clover Moore AO.
Thank you, Peter, and hello, everyone. And it is indeed wonderful to be in this building tonight. And what a moving welcome to country we had. And isn't it nice to know that the President is right up to date with what we should all be doing? The City of Sydney is resolved to support the yes vote, and we are going to lobby for it in much the same way as we lobbied for marriage equality and contribute to the success of that. We think that is really vital. So, and I want to start off by acknowledging the Gadigal people, the Eora Nation, the traditional custodians of our land, and pay my respects to the elders both past and present. I also acknowledge the people of the many nations who live in our city, and I want to acknowledge and welcome the Minister for Planning, the new Minister for Planning, Paul Scully. This is his first Architects Award. It's always a very exciting and informative night. This year, for me, marks the 10th year that I've presented the Lord Mayor's Prize, and it's for the work that improves the quality of the city through Sydney's public domain, through architectural, artistic or urban design excellence. Quality architecture and design excellence are transforming Sydney with tangible benefits that improve the livability and experience of workers, residents and visitors to our city. The City of Sydney's design excellence policy and competitive design process applies to all private and public development in the city over $100 million or meeting certain height or land area criteria. It is having great results by achieving environmentally sustainable, innovative and humane buildings and public domain areas. The city is supporting central Sydney developments with public domain upgrades that include the $295 million George Street pedestrianisation, which is in its final stages, and which, along with the light rail, has transformed the city, and it has attracted $8 billion worth of private investment. And a new public artwork, Barra. This is a 6.4 metre marble fishhook overlooking Sydney Harbour, above the Opera House, which represents the fishhooks that the Aboriginal women, including Barangaroo, made for fishing in the shallows of the Sydney Harbour below. And while we have also proposed the Sydney North Public Domain Plan, and this is going to provide greener and calmer public spaces as the new metro stations and large developments bring in more workers and residents, particularly to that part of the city. Barack Obama was right. On his recent trip to Sydney, he said, "Sydney is fantastic. It's one of the world's great cities." And I'm sure we all agree. Recently, I visited the extraordinary buildings that make up the shortlist for the Lord Mayor's Prize with Director of Planning Graham Yarn, who is a distinguished former President of the Australian Institute of Architects. In fact, we are in one of them now, as we all know, a beautiful extension of the Art Gallery of New South Wales. So this year I'm awarding one commendation and one prize winner. I'd like to commend Opera Residence by Zahns and Executive Architect Crone, completing East Circular Quay and extending the original vision of a full-length colonnade from the Sydney Opera House forecourt to Circular Quay Viaduct has taken 30 years since designs were first released by architect Andrew Anderson in 1993. Alex Zahns has masterfully completed the three-level colonnade, continuing the height and rhythm of the adjoining buildings with his own skillful expression. The city's requirement for the public through site link connecting Macquarie Street and Circular Quay has been beautifully executed, and the project removes cars and service vehicles from East Circular Quay forecourt. The public domain contribution extends into the forecourt where palm trees were relocated to preserve view lines to the grand staircase from Macquarie Street, and where new seats have been installed and a new kiosk built. Opera Residence is a residential work with a civic presence and a sophisticated public realm, and I commend Zahns Architects, AMP and Mirvac, which secured approvals and negotiated the public benefits, and Macrolink and Landream Australian Land for executing this fine project. And it gives me great pleasure to announce the winner of this year's Lord Mayor's Prize, Quay Quarter Tower by 3XN with Executive Architects BVN, which you will see on the winning citation video. Thank you, everyone.
An exceptional work of architecture acknowledged around the world for its innovation and design excellence. The public domain interface makes a significant urban design contribution. The sculpted podium integrates with the surrounding streets cleverly to ensure a high degree of activation and engagement between inside and outside. Congratulations 3XN with Executive Architect BVN.
Are you guys in the room? 3XN, anyone from here? 3XN? Redraw? No. Okay.
This is pretty heavy. I hope this is carbon neutral concrete. Wow, what an amazing honour. Thank you, Mayor, for the amazing accolade, and congratulations to all the shortlisted parties on the list. It was quite something. This has been described as a once-in-a-generation project by everybody who's worked on it. And I think, actually, when you look back at a project like this, which is more than 10 years in the making, it certainly feels like a once-in-a-generation project. And more than 30,000 people have worked on this project over its gestation to completion. In fact, we're still working on it with tenants to complete it. The City of Sydney were a key collaborator in the project from the early stages, and working through that with the wider precinct, Adam and the team, and Sean on the wider master plan. And all of us at 3XN and BVN are incredibly proud of the team. It isn't about a whimsical piece of architecture on Circular Quay. It was about transformation. It was about a performative architecture, and it's something that will hopefully stand the test of time.
I'm sure it will.
So thank you very much.
Fantastic.
Probably got one more round of applause for Mayor Clover Moore, AO. Thank you. And congratulations to 3XN for their prize, Executive Architects BVN, and thanks again to the Lord Mayor. Now, the next announcement is the New South Wales Premier's Prize. This prize is awarded by the New South Wales Premier, the Honourable Chris Minns, from a short list of projects selected by the New South Wales Government Architects. And to make the winning announcement, could you please welcome to the stage the Honourable Paul Scully MP, Minister for Planning and Public Spaces.
Thanks, Peter, and I too would like to begin by acknowledging the traditional owners on the land of which we meet and pay my respects to elders past and present, and also acknowledge the presence of the Lord Mayor of Sydney, who I'm on my first presentation here on behalf of the Premier, and after 10 award presentations, that's certainly a goal. Yeah, no, not setting a high bar for the rest of us, Lord Mayor. Thank you. Adam, thank you for your frank introduction and discussion of housing. Your use of beauty, delight and joy is slightly different to the language I use of well located, well designed and well built. It's a little bit more creative and doesn't quite as probably rolls off the tongue a bit easier than the political speak. But nonetheless, it does point to the fact that it is something that is high on our agenda. The Premier, myself, the New South Wales Government has been clear in our ambition to get more people into homes. It frustrates me, and I never like to see people who are unable to get into a home at any point in time. So the work we're doing is focused around that, but it's work that's focused around having homes located close to jobs and close to good opportunities for people. I have to confess, inside me there's a frustrated architect inside this politician. Other politicians have had that frustrated architect. They didn't keep it hidden as much, but I do appreciate the work, the professionalism, the creativity that each of you bring to the role. It's easy for us to look upon what was once a blank piece of land or a building that's been torn down and rebuilt and think, oh, that's easy, we could do that. But when you actually look at it, the interplay of space, the interplay of design, the built form as well as the open spaces and the sight lines that go with it are really, truly impressive, and I'm often in awe in what you're able to achieve. So in that vein, it's my a great pleasure this evening, and the Premier, like Adam, didn't give me any insight as to who the winner might be. Abby, the New South Wales architect, has said to me that this is a very, very worthy recipient, and it goes partly to the heart of what the new government is about, and that is about the front door of any building being the same no matter who the owner might be, whether it be social housing, affordable housing or market housing. The front door, the entranceway, the right, if you like, to a well-designed building should be part and parcel of anyone's aspirations, and it should be available to everyone. That's why it is my great pleasure to present this year's Premier's Prize to Turner Architects for their Big Street Liverpool social housing project. Congratulations.
This New South Wales Land and Housing Corporation LAHC commissioned project provides much needed social housing in Sydney's southwest. Big Street demonstrates a high quality and thoughtful approach to delivering cost-effective housing and shows that meeting the needs of our community is not dependent on sacrificing the architectural quality enjoyed by the residents and the community. The building delivers high amenity with spaces that have excellent natural light, private outdoor space, are well ventilated and have positive outlooks.
Well, thank you. It's an honour to be up here. We were really passionate about this project. We're very thankful for working with LAC and with Hutchison from the day one, really, to try and show how social housing could be provided in sort of anywhere. One of the nicest things has been to meet some of the people in the social housing. We recently met some of the residents who we asked where they lived before, and they were homeless, and this was an apartment that they could now live in and were really enjoying. So it's wonderful to work on that, and so thank you very much.
And what about one more round of applause for Paul Scully, Minister for Planning. Thanks, Paul. Okay, are we ready to hand out some awards? Okay, moving on to the main awards, where the juries can bestow 3 types of recognition. Let's go through them. Commendations, which are recognitions of excellence. Secondly, the awards, which are given to projects that are exceptional in design and execution. And of course, the named awards, which are the highest honour you can receive in each category. Now, each of the 13 main award categories have been assessed by a jury of peers whose names will appear. They're trying to exit. No, the juries are here, and their names will appear on screen throughout the night, and their work has been overseen by the New South Wales Chair of Juries, Helen Lockhead. And to give us a sense of what's involved in the 2023 deliberations, it's my pleasure to invite Helen to the stage to tell us a little bit more.
Before I begin, I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. So, good evening, everyone. The Institute Awards provide an opportunity to come together and celebrate the extraordinary talents and achievements of our members. As Adam mentioned already, this year was exceptional, with a record number of entries across 13 categories. The number and range of excellent projects presented the juries with the challenging task of shortlisting, as projects varied, as you would expect, in complexity, budget, scale and context. But overall, 75% were shortlisted, which just goes to show the quality of the projects in this year's awards program. As you would know, every project shortlisted in the Institute Awards is visited by the category jury. This is a defining feature of our Architecture Awards program. It's a massive undertaking, but we firmly believe architecture needs to be experienced in real life to be truly understood, appreciated and evaluated. The juries visited projects across the length and breadth of the state, and for the first time, projects in the Colorbond Award for Steel in Architecture and the Imagine Project category were also visited, a reflection that the program is constantly evolving to ensure excellence and equity across the board. Understandably, difficult choices were made by each jury to award the best in what was an outstanding field. And the jury chairs also met separately to deliberate and collectively decide the highest award and recognition, the New South Wales Architecture Medallion, chosen from all the named awards in each category. The chairs also discussed the Blackett Prize, contenders for significant regional project with the Regional Committee, and the Colorbond Award for Steel in Architecture with Hazel Derrett from BlueScope. This proved very worthwhile all round. So, it's a long and complex process, but it was also another year for firsts in the sustainability arena. This year, the requirement of the completed sustainability checklist was required in all entries, for all entries, not just the sustainability category. And I would say that this is a most important step in raising awareness and expectations of what well-designed buildings should encompass. Sustainability should be a cost of entry, not something which is exceptional. So it was great to see the commitment to conserve resources and minimise waste in so many projects, with more than half of the shortlisted projects involving the adaptation of existing buildings. Unsurprisingly, this year the most awarded category was heritage, where the creative adaptation skills of architects were evident across a range of building types. I was totally inspired by so many buildings being ably reimagined and integrated in new projects, not only reducing the project's carbon footprint, but breathing new life into these buildings. Wins all round. Impressive too were the cultural projects in this year's awards list. We're standing in one now. And equally the high quality public educational, commercial and multi-unit housing, as well as small projects that really redefined the public realm. With these projects, it is essential to acknowledge the role of their clients in championing not only design quality, sustainability, livability, but public amenity, something for everyone. Without them, these amazing projects would not have been realised. So on behalf of the Institute, I'd like to thank all the jurors for their time, dedication and deliberations, with special thanks to the jury chairs, because I know it's a tough gig, but it's also a truly rewarding task and a demanding one. And I'd also like to reiterate Adam's thank you to Peter Fry and the Institute team for their calm, can-do attitude and meticulous management of a complex and sometimes fraught process. Finally, a big thank you to all of the architects who have submitted projects, and congratulations to all the winners. Every project provides compelling evidence of the power of good design to enhance our lives and the world around us. So thank you, everyone, and I'll just hand over to Peter again.
Now, Helen, before you go, I've been tasked with this, to give you this bottle of wine on behalf of your fellow jurors and the Institute. So there you go. Apparently it's your favourite, so... Right. Okay, let's get underway with the first category, the Colorbond Award for Steel Architecture, supported by BlueScope. It's my pleasure to welcome back to the stage Hazel Derrett from BlueScope to hand over the winning certificate. While she's making her way to the front, let's take a look at the nominees for the Colorbond Award.
Balmain House by Saha. DP House by Boki Grant. Eastern Creek Speedway by Cox Architecture. Erskeville House by Lachlan Seegers Architect. Fisherman's House by Studio Prineus. Modus Operandi Brewery by Prevalent. PCYC Wagga Wagga by AJC. Silverback by Goodwin Scarfoni Belgiano Nettis. And Warren Integrated Studies Hub by Mayo Architects.
Okay, the team at BlueScope would like to give a commendation to PCYC Wagga Wagga by AJC. And the 2023 Colorbond Award for Steel Architecture goes to Warren Integrated Studies Hub by Mayo Architects. Congratulations. Please join us on stage.
Mayo Architects created an integrated studies hub with a hybrid structure of concrete and steel together with a steel roof. The visually pleasing circular arc roof allows for ease of form, flow of movement and visual connectivity, supported with extensive glazing between all teaching spaces. The space allows for excellent supervision, abundant natural light and ventilation, which encourages student inquiry and engagement. Congratulations, Mayo Architects.
So this is one of these projects that just everything comes together, we felt, you know, from the school, leadership from them, as well as our builders and our consultants, landscape architects, and also working with Lysart and, you know, a rather complex roof, you might say. It's just, yeah, we were really privileged to get this project and work together with everyone, so thank you.
Congratulations to everyone who has submitted, as well as all the winners in particular. Thank you.
Careful getting in those stairs. Good. Congratulations to Mayo Architects. Now on to commercial architecture. Moving on to commercial architecture, supported by Lysart, I'd like to invite Will Pereira to the stage to hand over tonight's winning certificates. While he's on his way, let's take a look at tonight's 11 shortlisted projects for commercial architecture.
A by Adina Sydney by JPW. Ace Hotel by Bates Smart with Flax Studio and Fiona Lynch. Easy Street Commercial by DFJ Architects. Locomotive Workshop by Sisson Architects with Buchan and Mervac Design. Modus Operandi Brewery by Prevalent. Oculus by SJB and Richard Stanish. Parramatta Park Pavilion by Sam Crawford Architects. Polycentre 210 George Street by Grimshaw. Key Quarter Tower by 3XN with Executive Architect BVN. Substation number 164 by FJC Studio, formerly FJMT Studio. And Yarranmar Place by SJB.
From the field of shortlisted projects, the jury have given a commendation to Locomotive Workshop by Sissons Architects with Buchan and Mervac Design. The jury have also given a commendation to Modus Operandi Brewery by Prevalent. Congratulations to both our commendation winners in the commercial category, Sissons Architects with Buchan and Mervac Design, and congrats also to Prevalent on their commendation. However, the commercial category have attracted 4 awards, and we'd like to invite each to the stage. The first award goes to Easy Street Commercial by DFJ Architects.
Sited in subtropical regional New South Wales, Easy Street Commercial Hub expands on the master plan vision of Habitat as a flexible live-work model in harmony with the natural environment. The new commercial hub activities are interconnected with the life of the community, with diverse offerings including shared communal spaces, encouraging interaction. Easy Street reminds us of the fundamental design principles in creating sustainable environments for now and for the future. Congratulations, DFJ Architects.
The boys from, lads from DFJ here in the room, looking out. No? We're taking that one with us? No? Okay. Okay, let's go on to the second award winner for commercial architecture, and that goes to Key Quarter Tower by 3XN with Executive Architect Bea Van. Come forward, guys, if you
Starting with a brief to retain and reuse an existing structure, 3XN with Executive Architect BVN have transformed a high-rise commercial building near the end of its useful life to create dramatic new office and retail space and make a bold contribution to the city skyline. New structure is grafted and interwoven with the existing, almost doubling the building floor space. Congratulations 3XN with Executive Architect PVN.
Also receiving an award in the commercial category, it's Substation number 164 by FJC Studio. Come forward if you're here, guys.
Substation number 164 is a transformational adaptive reuse project in a dense city context. A pair of neglected industrial buildings have been sensitively refurbished, presenting the grand volume of a former machine hall while adding a contemporary commercial tower. A bold approach to regeneration makes this an exceptional development delivering office space with high sustainability credentials. Congratulations, FJC Studio.
Round of applause at FJC. Thanks, guys. The fourth award in commercial architecture goes to Urinema Place by SJB. Come forward.
Yarranmar Place is an exemplar of lovingly reimagined adaptive reuse, intertwined with social purpose and First Nations art. Restored and reinvented, Yarranmar Place has returned to private residence within a heritage-listed 1920s church back to a wider community. It incorporates a gallery event space and flexible offices for not-for-profit organisations. Yarranmar is Gadigal for Many Create, a fitting name for the building's purpose. Congratulations, SJB.
Congratulations to all of tonight's award winners in commercial category. However, the highest honour in this category, the Sir Arthur G. Stevenson Award for Commercial Architecture, goes to Polly Centre, 210 George Street by Grimshaw. Please come forward and say a few words.
The Polly Centre is a 20-storey commercial tower that sets a benchmark for contextual city making and tall building design in the Sydney CBD. Weaving itself masterfully into the fabric of the city, the Polly Centre demonstrates a deep understanding of its place, respecting past and present neighbours, while establishing its own distinctive presence. The considered composition of volumes creates an elegant sculptural form. Congratulations, Grimshaw.
I need to, often these projects have a long history in their formation. This project arose from a design excellence competition and where Helen was on that jury. So it's absolutely delightful to be receiving this award from Helen, who was there from the beginning. And a special thing about this project, it was the first project that our client, Polly, which is a Chinese client, government client, in their commitment to contribute to the city. So a very innovative program that came together with the support of our client, Polly, with the design jury, sponsored by the city with their great advocacy for how our architecture must enliven our streets and privilege the public realm and the activation of it as our priority. So this building turned itself to the street and its public and civic duty to capture the memory of many architectures which have been part of the formation of George Street. So it's really delightful to receive this award, and I obviously thank our team who've been there from the very beginning, Tiffany and Wayne and many others who've been part of that. So thank you very much.
Well done to the team at Grimshaw. And now on to educational architecture. Let's take a look at the 6 shortlisted nominees.
Cranbrook School, Hordern Oval Precinct redevelopment by Architectus. Schools at Meadowbank Education and Employment Precinct, SMEEP, by Woods Bagot. St Joseph's College Aquatic and Fitness Centre by TKD Architects. TAFE New South Wales Meadowbank Multi-Trades Hub Institute of Applied Technology Digital by Gray Pucksand. The Village Preschool by Carter Williamson. UTS Central by FJC Studio, formerly FJMT Studio, and DJRD with Lacoste and Stevenson. Originally Broadway Podium Design.
Okay. There you go. From the field of shortlisted projects, the jury have given a commendation to the Village Preschool by Carter Williamson. Congratulations to Carter Williamson on their commendation. The jury have awarded one award tonight for educational architecture, and that award goes to UTS Central by FJC Studio and DJRD with Lacoste Stevenson, the original Broadway Podium Design. Please come forward, guys.
UTS Central is a polished and sophisticated series of spaces that positively contributes to the experience of tertiary students and academics. Providing through-site links at ground level, the new podium is a suspended glass and transparent base that allows student study and life to be clearly visible from Broadway and surrounding streets. Congratulations FJC Studio and DJRD with Lacoste and Stevenson.
Well done to the team behind UTS. And the highest honour for educational architecture, the William E. Kemp Award, goes to Cranbrook School, Hordern Oval Precinct redevelopment by Architectus. Please come forward and say a few words.
Nestled into its historic context, the redevelopment is an exemplar response to both place and brief. In part spread across a steeply terraced site, the building is beautifully interwoven into the rich tapestry of the school's senior campus. Partially below ground, but bathed in natural light, the considered location of the Murray Rose Aquatic and Fitness Centre at the base of the site encourages use of the facility by both students and the wider community alike. Congratulations, Architectus.
Thank you very much. I'm very surprised, but I did make some notes thinking we wouldn't win. I would like to thank firstly the awards panel. I know what an effort it is to go around and see all those projects, and it was delightful actually to speak with them during our visit, which I think went for about 2 hours. And I came away feeling that we had told a good story and that it had been well listened to, so thank you to the jury. I'd also like to thank our inspired clients at Cranbrook School. It was my pleasure to represent Architectus, and on behalf of Charlie Viney and the team who worked so hard across what was actually 2 projects and 5 years, we're just so delighted with this award. Thank you so much.
Lesson there, isn't there? Have a good story to tell when the jury turn up. Well done. The awards so far have celebrated recent work, but the next category, enduring architecture, recognises exceptional architecture completed at least 25 years ago that continues to have an impact today. Now, Laura Cockburn chaired this jury, and she was joined by Reg Lark, Russell Olsen and Leonie Lorimer. Let's take a look at tonight's 3 shortlisted nominees.
Jack House by Russell and Pamela Jack and John Allen. Malley House by Andrei Perebsky, Perebsky Architects. And Olympic Park Station by Hassel, Ken Ma, Rodney Uren, Jeff Crow, Robin McInnes, William Smart, Andrew Cortese, John Woodman, Mano Penambulam, Vanessa Yee, Adrian Gottlieb, Michelle McSharry, Chris Thomas, and Ross Delamotte.
Amazing architectural blast from the past. The jury have awarded the 2023 Award for Enduring Architecture to Olympic Park Station by Hassel. Let's go through the names now. Come forward, guys.
Sydney Olympic Park Station is an enduring illustration of public architecture having a symbolic, functional and generative role in its urban context. Initially the arrival place to the Sydney Olympic Games, the station has become pivotal to the diverse uses and urban character of Sydney Olympic Park. Congratulations Hassel, Ken Ma, Rodney Uren, Jeff Crow, Robin McInnes, William Smart, Andrew Cortese, John Woodman, Mano Penambulam, Vanessa Yee, Adrian Gottlieb, Michelle McSharry, Chris Thomas and Ross Delamotte.
Can you just go through the... No.
Well, we're absolutely honoured. I guess the notion of architecture as enduring is fundamental to us all, and so it's just such a pleasure to be able to accept this award for a project that we're very proud of, and a project that I think did change a little bit about public transport in New South Wales. We've been doing many other projects successfully, and as have many others, but we know that architecture is not just about function. Architecture is about experience and delight, as well as sustainability, and I think, and endurance. So we're very, very delighted. You've heard the roll call, but I do want to mention two people who are no longer with us. One who was mentioned is Rodney Uren for his extraordinary contribution to the design, and another, Bob Leese, who was Deputy Director General of OCA, who was our client and was so passionate and drove the project, supported us every time there was a glitch or something that challenged us. He was so helpful. So this is a legacy to them as well. Everything was right with this project. We had a great client, great team, great opportunity. It started us actually in our whole work in the future in public transport's sector. So thank you very much. We're delighted.
Amazing stuff, some bloody legends of our profession there. So congratulations, guys. A well-deserved winner. Congratulations to the entire team who worked on Olympic Park Station. Now, speaking of great design that has stood the test of time, let's get into the heritage category. And we have a short message from our sponsor, Westox, who wish to acknowledge how design from days gone by can be reshaped, renewed, and tonight, rewarded.
Good evening, everyone, from our Westox training facility. We are delighted to be supporting the Heritage category again this year at tonight's New South Wales Architecture Awards. On behalf of Westox Building Products, we'd like to wish everyone nominated in this category the very best of luck. Now let's take a look at the nominees.
"70 George Street, Cox Sydney Studio" by Cox Architecture. "80 Albion" by Squalus Architects. "Bondi Pavilion Restoration and Conservation" by Tonkin Zuleika Greer Architects. "Fisherman's House" by Studio Prineus. "Locomotive Workshop" by Sisson Architects with Buchan and Mervac Design. "Millers Point Townhouse" by Design 5. "St Saviour's Cathedral" by Michael Fox Architects. "Substation number 164" by FJC Studio, formerly FJMT Studio. "Sydney Opera House Concert Hall Renewal" by ARM Architecture. The Estate by Luke Maloney Architecture. The Imperial at Clifton by Welsh and Major. And Yarranmar Place by SJB.
Yep, another strong field this year, and the jury have awarded a commendation for heritage conservation to Millers Point Townhouse by Design 5 Architects. Another commendation for heritage creative adaptation also goes to 80 Albion by Squillaci Architects. And likewise, a commendation also goes to Locomotive Workshop by Sissons Architects with Buchan and Mervac Design. And the jury have awarded 5 awards tonight in heritage conservation. 5. The first award for heritage conservation goes to St Saviour's Cathedral by Michael Fox Architects. Please come forward, guys.
St Saviour's Cathedral Goulburn by Michael Fox Architects. St Saviour's Cathedral in Goulburn is an important Edmund Blackett building from 1874 with state heritage listing. The seemingly modest work belies the complexity, restraint, important stewardship and leadership demonstrated by the community and their architect. The project exemplifies the ongoing commitment required to protect and conserve important heritage items. Congratulations, Michael Fox Architects.
Did they come up? Did I miss them? Here they come. Also, an award for heritage creative adaptation also goes to Bondi Pavilion Restoration and Conservation by Tolkien Zuleika Greer Architects. Please come forward.
Bondi Pavilion Restoration and Conservation, Tonkin Zuleika Greer Architects. The Bondi Pavilion, an iconic landmark since 1929. The restoration project set an ambitious goal to re-establish the visual and physical connection through the pavilion from Campbell Parade to the beach. The project features strong architectural moves that together restore the legibility, symmetry and sequence of spaces to the building, re-energising it as Waverley's unofficial town hall and community heart. Congratulations, Tonkin Zuleika Greer Architects.
Thanks, guys. And a further recipient. I'm at the Bondi Pavilion all the time. It's an amazing project. Needed a lot of love, that place. A further recipient of an award in heritage creative adaptation goes to Substation number 164 by FJC Studio. Please come forward.
Substation number 164, FJC Studio, formerly FJMT Studio. Substation number 164 is a uniquely inventive project representing a conceptually innovative adaptive reuse response for commercial projects in inner city urban settings. This beautifully crafted project respects the heritage fabric whilst offering a contemporary counterpoint in the form of the delightfully 21st century office building hovering above. Congratulations, FJC Studio.
Well done, guys. Our 4th recipient for an award in this category for heritage creative adaptation goes to The Estate by Luke Maloney Architecture.
The Estate is a rare example of a client and architect who appreciated the qualities of a historic building that was not heritage listed yet treated it with due care and consideration because they simply thought it was the right thing to do. Surprisingly, on account of the quality of the work, the house has the rare honour of being heritage listed after the completion of the new work. Congratulations, Luke Maloney Architecture.
Well done, Luke. Now, proving without doubt heritage conservation is a very competitive field. Our 5th award for heritage creative adaptation goes to The Imperial at Clifton by Welsh and Major.
The Imperial at Clifton, Welsh and Major architects. Perched on a seaside cliff in Clifton since 1911, the Imperial Hotel has been successfully reinstated as the well-loved building of this regional community. The new work is handled playfully, retaining legibility of the original hotel while making strong and direct interventions. This has allowed the hotel to retain its landmark qualities as an important and active element within the local community. Congratulations, Welsh and Major architects.
And now to the highest honour in this category, the Greenway Award for Heritage. And that award goes to Sydney Opera House Concert Hall Renewal by ARM Architecture. Please come forward and say a few words.
Performing delicate surgery to a much-loved World Heritage listed building. This renewal project manages to not only meet but transcend all of the project challenges to achieve something truly special. The result is a renewed concert hall for the next generation, on par with the world's great halls. This is a rare example of a heritage intervention handled with masterful skill and creativity to make the interventions almost invisible. Congratulations, ARM Architecture.
Thank you very much. Needless to say, this is a very big honour, and we're very proud to have won this award, especially given the high competition, obviously, that we just saw. This project was a delight from go to woe. It was a 7-year odyssey, so quite a long journey. I personally want to thank every single one of the ARM team members that worked on the project. We had a fantastic client group from Louise Heron on down, a fantastic consultant team, particularly we'll note Alan Croker, who was there. Design 5, Opera House's heritage architect. We had our battles, Alan, but we should both be very, very proud of where we all got to. I also want to thank some of our esteemed sort of eminent colleagues in this room, one of whom was on the stage just before. Working with the Opera House's design advisory panel was also a treat, and we certainly are very thankful for their wise counsel. Ken Marr, I saw Abby Galvin from across the room, Peter Mould, Peter Poulet for a short time, Jarnelson, and every one of the members of that panel were fantastic to work with. And Mark and everyone on the team, this is a great honour, so thank you.
Congratulations to the team at ARM Architecture. Well done. Moving on to interior architecture. Let's take a look at tonight's 19 shortlisted nominees.
Six Parramatta Square by Woods Bagot. 70 George Street, Cox Sydney Studio by Cox Architecture. 80 Albion by Squalus Architects. Amara by Smart Design Studio. AMP QQT Workplace by Hassel. Apartment for an Older Man by Plus Minus Design with Limesmith. Art Gallery of New South Wales Library and Members Lounge by Tonkins Alika Greer Architects. Art Gallery of New South Wales Sydney Modern Building Gallery Shop by Akin Atelier. Bridge 17 by Smart Design Studio. Built Head Office Substation number 164 by FJC Interiors, formerly FJMT Interiors. Cause Chambers Westgarth by Bates Smart. Cranbrook School Hordern Oval Precinct Redevelopment by Architectus. Intercontinental Sydney by Woods Bagot. 9 Square Bondi by Madeline Blanchfield Architects. 5 Community, Cultural and Civic Hub by Designing Sydney, Lacoste Stevenson and Manuel Gautrend Architecture. Sydney Opera House Concert Hall Renewal by ARM Architecture. The Charles Grand Brasserie and Bar by Cox Architecture in association with H&E Architects. The Estate by Luke Maloney Architecture. And Yarranmar Place by SJB.
Some great stuff. Well, the jury in this category have awarded 3 commendations. The first of these goes to the Art Gallery of New South Wales Library and Members Lounge by Tonkin Zuleika Greer Architects. Our second commendation goes to Yarranmar Place by SJB. Also, commendation in the field of interior architecture goes to Cause Chambers, Westgarth by Bates Smart. And the first of our awards, which we invite forward in this category, goes to 70 George Street, Cox Sydney Studio by Cox Architecture. Please come up.
"70 George Street, Cox Sydney Studio" by Cox Architecture. A masterclass of contemporary workspace design, delivering a rich mix of easily adaptable spaces, underpinned by a rigorous but pragmatic approach to sustainability. Built inside an inner-city heritage warehouse, every element of the fit-out can be dismantled and removed without leaving a trace on the existing fabric. A simple and carefully selected palette of materials is supplemented by a curated suite of found, reused, repurposed and recycled furniture. Congratulations, Cox Architecture.
Well done. The jury have also given an award for interior architecture to Amara by Smart Design Studio. Please come forward.
Amara by Smart Design Studio. This project demonstrates architectural finesse in its reworking of an historic house with an elegant addition at the rear. The project is remarkable in its confidence, reflecting an architectural practice adept at contemporary and long-lasting transformations of historic properties. The interiors are beautifully crafted, effortlessly minimal, and they successfully combine 2 opposing parts into an entirely contemporary whole. Congratulations, Smart Design Studio.
Well done, Janie. Our third award for interior architecture goes to, and I love this, Apartment for an Older Man by Plus Minus Design with Lime Smith.
Apartment for an Older Man by Plus Minus Design with Limesmith. This project is a testament to the power of design to improve quality of life for people of any age. An innovative approach to this economical refurbishment has resulted in a complex and nourishing interior tailored closely to the client's lifestyle, passions, and changing needs. The result is a compact, visually complex, yet calm and comfortable interior, interconnecting dining, kitchen, library, living, and sunroom spaces. Congratulations, Plus Minus Design and Limesmith.
Well done. Now, guys, I'm not supposed to go off script, but the mayor has asked me. She wants to know who is the old man. Right. Any more questions, Clive? No. Okay. Happy to relay. Okay. An award for interior architecture also goes to the Art Gallery of New South Wales Sydney Modern Building, the Gallery Shop by Atelier.
Art Gallery of New South Wales Sydney Modern Building Gallery Shop by Aken Atelier. Conceived through a stunning, exactingly and detailed handcrafted approach to concept and construction, the delightful design of the bookshop is belied by the simplicity of its form, with both space and display shelves created by 29 individual panels that are composed of hundreds of uniquely coloured bioresin layers. The project masterfully synthesises Akin Atelier's own material experiments with know-how from surfboard manufacturer Hayden Cox. Congratulations, Akin Atelier.
And the jury have awarded the highest honour in this category, the John Verge Award for Interior Architecture, to Sydney Opera House Concert Hall Renewal by ARM Architecture. Please come forward.
Sydney Opera House Concert Hall Renewal by ARM Architecture. Completed in its 50th year, the Sydney Opera House Concert Hall refurbishment is a masterpiece, a symphony of design, innovation and acoustic excellence. Respecting the legacies of both Jorn Utzon and Peter Hall, the project demonstrates exceptional virtuosity, striking a delicate balance between preserving the iconic character of the original space while subtly infusing it with contemporary elements. Congratulations, ARM Architecture.
Thank you. This is genuinely a bit of a shock. The interior is such a competitive category with such extraordinary the quality of work, and so it is something of a surprise to be here. Our work is almost entirely with Peter Hall's fabric, and it is really wonderful to see that he is finally being recognised as a truly great architect of his generation and a great architect in Australian history. So it is wonderful. Thank you.
Well, what a balancing act that must have been. Congratulations again to the team at ARM Architecture. Moving on to small project architecture, there are 8 projects in the running. Let's roll the shortlisted projects.
Caddow by Curious Practice. Camperdown Memorial Rest Park Amenities by Yasnimo Architects. Day 01 Gallery by Ian Moore Architects. Dimensions X Farm Stay by Peter Stutchbury Architecture. Hutch by Madeline Blanchfield Architects. Mona Vale Beach Amenities and Lifeguard Facility by Warren and Marnie. Parry Park Pavilions by Arch Rival, Custom Mad and Lucy Humphrey Studio with Lucy Simpson, Gawa Mie and Copy Nature Office. And Stealth Pavilion by Plus Minus Design.
The jury have awarded a commendation to Stealth Pavilion by Plus Minus Design. Congratulations, Plus Minus Design. The jury have given an award for small project architecture to Day 01 Gallery by Ian Moore Architects. Please join us.
Day 01 Gallery by Ian Moore Architects. Day 01 Gallery on Crown Street is an excellent example of an architectural idea pared down to a radically basic form, but which is nonetheless very compelling and refreshingly unapologetic. The space is tiny, but the clever use of design elements make it feel far larger than it is. To suit a low budget of a jaw-dropping $10,000, the architect adopted a highly targeted approach. Congratulations, Ian Moore Architects.
And the jury have also given an award in this category to Dimensions X Farm Stay by Peter Stutchbury Architecture.
Dimensions X Farm Stay by Peter Stutchbury Architecture. Farm Stay by Peter Stutchbury Architecture is a prime example of an interdisciplinary, sustainable and socially progressive approach to prefabrication construction, which nevertheless achieves high architectural quality. The project's design and construction process focuses on the efficient and sustainable economy of materials, happily reaching into and reworking the supply chain to suit its needs. Congratulations, Peter Stutchbury Architecture.
Well done to both Ian Moore Architects and Pete Stutch Architecture for their awards for small projects. And the highest honour, the Robert Woodward Award for small project architecture, goes to the Mona Vale Beach Amenities Lifeguard Facility by Warren and Marnie. Please come forward, say a few words.
The Mona Vale Beach Amenities and Lifeguard Facility is a robust yet poetic example of small-scale public architecture. It provides essential services whilst creating a positive and social place and integrates beautifully into its natural surroundings. Its siting within the landscape is exceptional, providing both visitors and lifeguards with important views of the beach and ocean pool. Congratulations, Warren and Marnie.
Well, thanks very much for the jury, first of all, and also to Northern Beaches Council, our client. You can imagine this was a really fun project to work on, right on the beach, with the sand up and down the road, and I only live about a kilometre away as well. So a beautiful project on a very small budget that came out of the separation of some beach amenities from the clubhouse, a couple of 100 metres along the beach. And it was a fantastic joy to work on a very simple building. There's no mechanical services in it or nothing. Sometimes it's just great to work on something so small and so rewarding. So thank you very much.
Well done. Congratulations to the team at Warren and Marnie. The next category is sustainable architecture. With 8 shortlisted projects this year, let's take a look at the nominees.
Balmain House by Saha. Bay Pavilions Arts and Aquatic by NBRS with Donovan Payne Architects. Bondi Pavilion Restoration and Conservation by Tonkin Zuleika Greer Architects. Lane Cove House by Saha. Music Room by Alexander Symes Architect. Parramatta Park Pavilion by Sam Crawford Architects. 5 Community, Cultural and Civic Hub by Designing Sydney, Lacoste Stevenson and Manuel Gautran Architecture. And Regeneration House by Alexander Symes Architect with 2nd edition and Jane Thau.
A great range of projects, sensational sustainability on the shortlist there. Okay, we have an accommodation in this category to 5 Community, Cultural and Civic Hub by Designing Studio, Lacoste Stevenson and Manuel Gautran Architecture. And the jury have awarded 2 awards in this category tonight. An award for sustainable architecture goes to Regeneration House by Alexander Symes Architect with 2nd edition and Jane Thau.
Regeneration House by Alexander Symes Architect with 2nd edition and Jane Thau. A thoughtful collaboration to retrofit and extend a beachside shack with minimal embodied energy, innovative reuse and relifing of salvaged materials, and care for the neighbours and local fauna. The wonderfully resolved detailing brings together existing, new and repurposed materials in a way that subtly lifts the experience and the quality without raising the cost. Congratulations, Alexander Symes Architect with 2nd edition and Jane Thau.
Well done, Alex. The jury have also given an award in sustainable architecture to Bay Pavilions Arts Aquatic by NBRS with Donovan Payne Architects. Right here.
Bay Pavilions Arts and Aquatic by NBRS with Donovan Payne Architects. Delivered with the constraints of a tight budget, the demands of a public building, and the complexity of multiple programs, the architects demonstrated commendable engagement with the community, leading to their refreshing and practical approach, including the timber-clad curving forms of the riverside site reflected throughout. An honest and hard-working result that is well positioned to enjoy an enduring and productive life within the community. Congratulations NBRS with Donovan Payne Architects.
Congratulations to both award winners tonight, and the Milo Dunphy Award for Sustainable Architecture, the highest honour that can be awarded in this category, goes to Lane Cove House by Saha. Please join us for a few words.
Lane Cove House by Saha. This is a novel approach to a complex challenge: how to keep a growing multi-generational family together on a modest budget. Rather than default to a knockdown rebuild or a studio taking over the garden, the inspired move was to create a second home on top of the existing in a way that is affordable, beautiful, functional, and contributes to the public realm. Congratulations, Saha.
Thank you. That's obviously a real surprise for us. It's our first year attending. We wanted to say thanks to the jury for giving their time, and it was a really fun process for us to show people around the building. It's a project that we're really passionate about. Did you want to talk about the building?
Yeah, and a massive thank you, who we know are watching at home, Keith March Constructions, who are the builders for this project, who've had a 35-year career, and we were lucky. Oh, sorry, I'm really shocked. We were just really lucky and honoured to work with them, and this was actually their last project before retiring. So, a great career. Congratulations.
We've got to say thanks to the clients too. And yeah, thanks to the very brave clients who had a very unique brief and took on a young architect to do something a bit unusual. So thanks to Antoinette, John, Georgia, Adam, Olive, and Theron.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations to the team at Saha with a relatively short, sustainable speech. We're now moving on to urban design. 5 projects were shortlisted in this category. Let's take a look at the nominees now.
Alumni Park by McGregor Westlake Architects in collaboration with Spackman Mossop Michaels. Brookfield Place Sydney by Make Architects and Architectus. City of Sydney Street Furniture by Grimshaw and City of Sydney. Opera Residences by Tsanis and Crone, Executive Architect. West Connects Tunnel Support Facility by Connie Bear Morrison International with Asiona Construction Australia, Samsung C&T and Bouygues Construction Australia joint venture.
And the jury have awarded just 2 commendations only in this category. The first commendation goes to City of Sydney Street Furniture by Grimshaw and City of Sydney. And the second commendation in urban design goes to Opera Residences by Sarns and Crone, Executive Architect. Congratulations to both Grimshaw and City of Sydney, as well as Sarns and Crone, Executive Architect, for your commendations in urban design. Now, the following 3 categories are for residential architecture, and we'll begin with multiple housing. Now, there are 11 projects on the shortlist. Let's take a look at the nominees.
"19 Waterloo Street" by SJB. Big Street Liverpool by Turner. Igloo Summer Hill by Bates Smart. King and Phillip Residences by FJC Studio, formerly FJMT Studio. Millard Place Terraces by WMK Architecture. Natura Macquarie Park by Architectus. Opera Residences by Tsanis and Crone, Executive Architect. The Crossing by Croffy with Daroma Architects and Design Team. The Foundry, The Paper Mill by SJB. The Greenland Centre by BVN with Woods Bagot. And Traces by MHN Design Union.
And the jury have awarded 2 commendations for multiple housing. The first 2, the Greenland Centre by BVN with Woods Bagot. And the second commendation in multiple housing goes to Traces by MHN Design Union. And there are 2 award announcements in this category. The first award for residential architecture, multiple housing, goes to Big Street, Liverpool by Turner. Please come forward.
Big Street Liverpool is an exemplar of a new and collaborative method of procuring social housing, delivering design quality and equitable living in an evolving outer Sydney centre. A narrow, set-back 6-storey tower sits above a 4-storey podium, respecting the prevailing setbacks and adjacent buildings. Detailed balconies with level access provide additional living spaces and amenity. Congratulations, Turner.
And the jury have also given an award for multiple housing to The Crossing by Croffy with Daroma Architects and Design Team. Okay, please come up.
The Crossing is an urban apartment building in central Newcastle that departs from the conventional perimeter block type, instead creating a model of a grouped series of smaller blocks set on a car parking and retail podium. The 8 apartments per floor are grouped as separate pairs, accessed by open, landscaped accessways, served by a central core with single unpressurised stair. Congratulations, Croffy with Daroma Architects and Design Team.
And the highest honour in this category of residential architecture, the Aaron Bowlett Award for multiple housing, is presented to Igloo Summerhill by Bates Smart. Please come forward. Say a few words.
Igloo Summerhill is an elegant new courtyard building that resolves a difficult site in Summerhill, repurposing an existing heritage-listed ambulance station on Carlton Crescent. Each frontage responds well to its immediate context: a landscaped edge on the public reserve, a smart new facade against a drab shopping centre, and a spacious accessway that provides light and ventilation along a blank side wall of an adjacent building. Congratulations, Bates Smart.
Thank you to the AIA and the jury. I think we're incredibly shocked. There's a very, very high standard of work on that list, so congratulations to all the other entrants. I want to start by acknowledging that this is a client we've worked for over 15 years. I think we've completed probably about that many projects in the time, and we've had the privilege of, they're a client that just give us complete trust. They support us all the way through, and I think that's one of the fundamental things about architecture is if you don't have a good client, you just can't deliver a good project in the end. So thank you to Igloo. I also want to acknowledge the consultant team and the construction team, and I'll make a special mention of 360 Degrees, who designed the landscape and the integrated planting on the facades and things. And I think that's made it's a real differentiator of the project. And I note that they won a Institute of Landscape Architects Award recently. So congratulations to the Bates Smart Architecture and Interior Design team, and particularly Lucy and Torsten, who worked through this project. It was quite difficult to deliver on site through COVID, and it was a really integrated team and wonderful to work on. Thank you.
Congratulations and nice work, mate. Smart. Now, next up in the residential architecture category is alterations and additions, always an exceptionally competitive field. Now, there are 15 projects on the shortlist. Let's take a look at the nominees.
"19 Waterloo Street" by SJB. "A House for Grandma" by Bricar Maroney Architecture. Ayers Place by Curious Practice. Balmain House by Saha. Blue Mountains House by Anthony Gill Architects. Fisherman's House by Studio Praeneus. Horizon Apartment by Stephen Collier Architects. House for Bees by Downey North. Lane Cove House by Saha. Paperbark Bondi by Madeline Blanchfield Architects. Rosso Verdi by Carter Williamson. Somnium at Bingie by Owen Lewis Architects. Tarawella by MCK Architects. Trilogy House by Peter Stutchbury Architecture. And Taramara Threads by Ben and Penner Architecture.
Such cool names for homes. Alterations and additions. The jury have awarded 4 commendations for residential architecture alterations and additions. Commendations are awarded to Ayers Place by Curious Practice. A commendation also goes to Fisherman's House Studio by Pyrenees. Likewise, a commendation for House for Bees by Downey North. Also receiving commendation, Trilogy House by Peter Stutchbury Architecture. And an award for residential architecture alterations and additions goes to Balmain House by Saha. Please come forward.
Saha's Balmain House extends an inner-city suburban home with a pavilion-like addition to the rear, connected by an axial link. Rather than a standalone object, Balmain House is an excellent example of whole-site design, which provides a feeling of immersion in a wider environment, akin to an Arcadian walled garden. Key to this is the scheme's integration of various gardens and light wells, which is skillfully handled. Congratulations, Saha.
Sustainable and beautiful, that project. Congratulations to the team at Saha once again. And the highest honour in this category, the Hugh and Eva Burek Award for Residential Architecture Alterations and Additions. And that award goes to Lane Cove House by Saha. Please sit down.
The project doubles density at low cost, consumes no land, delivers huge social benefit to its intergenerational occupants, and does so with high architectural ambition. The project brief reflects current soaring house prices and high aged care and childcare costs, but is also timeless to enable extended families to live together yet separately for the benefit of all. Congratulations, Saha.
Yeah, again, the shock just keeps mounting up. So I guess I'm going to go with honoured as a different word. Still love the client, still love the builder. Still thank all the jurors. Thank you very much.
Do you want to move your chairs to the front? Let's put it. Congratulations, Saha. Now this brings us to the final of the residential categories. The residential architecture houses new. As we know, this is a very competitive field always, and a lot of public interest. There are 13 projects on the shortlist. Let's have a look at the projects considered by the jury. "19 Waterloo Street" by SJB.
Armadale House by Richard Stanish. Bronte House by Tribe Studio Architects. Draped House by Trias. Dulwich Hill Duo by Blake Letnick Architects. KL House by Rosevear Stevenson. Little Manly House by Croffey. M House by Rama Architects. Mossy Point House by Addition Office. 9 Square Bondi by Madeline Blanchfield Architects. Quarry Box by MCK Architects. Shiplap House by Chen Chow Little. And The Junction House by Mackenzie Pronk Architects.
Wow. Well, how do you split it? I love this stuff. Okay, a really impressive collection of projects there, and the jury have agreed to award 3 commendations. The first to Bronte House by Tribe Studio Architects. The second commendation goes to Draped House by Trias. In no particular order, the third commendation goes to Shiplap House by Chen Chow Little. Congratulations to all of the teams involved in those 3 projects. Now, the jury have given an award in the category of houses new, an award to Little Manly House by Croffey. Please come forward.
A masterfully resolved house with faultless planning that reflects the client's love of Austrian-American modernist architect Richard Joseph Neutra's platform homes in Los Angeles. The walls shield and open in all the right places to mediate between the varying scales of density surrounding the house, while still allowing generous flow through the spaces and capturing the delightful view. Congratulations, Croffey.
So good. The jury have also given an award to Mossy Point House by Addition Office.
Playful yet restrained, Mossy Point reinterprets the vernacular of beachside architecture. The dwelling has presence, yet it recedes into the landscape to enhance the colours and the grandeur of magnificent gums and the bush that surrounds it. The dwelling's extruded timber formed structure and unadorned fibre cement clad exterior provides an eloquent and singular language to the building's expression. Congratulations, Addition Office.
And the highest honour, the Wilkinson Award for Residential Architecture for 2023, goes to 19 Waterloo Street by SJB. Please come forward and say a few words. Here he comes.
This remarkable infill project in Surrey Hills challenges thinking about what is a home in Australia today. The 69 square metre dwelling for a couple and their small dog is a bold testament to doing more with less. Every inch of space has been meticulously detailed to create a home that is joyful and inventive and lovingly tailored to the lifestyle of all 3 of its occupants. Congratulations, SJB.
Thank you. I'm legitimately shaking, so thanks. I really appreciate it. We really appreciate it. I think one of the most remarkable things that happens when you work on a project is meeting people. We commissioned Nicholas Harding for a painting before we started the house. Sadly, Nicholas died 3 days after the painting was installed in the house. It was a really tragic term of events, but a really remarkable process to go through with Nicholas in terms of commissioning that painting. So I want to shout out to Lynn, to his wife, and also to Nicholas. But we also commissioned some other friends, Mika Popovutson, who made the gate out of bronze, Anna Willie Highfield, who did some birds for the house as well. I want to thank DBJ Architects, who rejected all the bricks for the Judith Nielsen house, Phoenix, which ended up on our house. I was in Clinton Krause, who's here tonight somewhere. Clinton owns Krause Bricks. Krause Bricks is where I grew up. It's the oldest family-owned brick company in Australia, and I was in his yard at Christmas looking at some bricks for my parents' house. And I said, "What are you doing with all those bricks? That must be a massive project." And he's like, "Oh, they're the ones that got rejected. They were the John West ones. I'm going to crush them up and turn them into road base because that's all I can do with them." I'm like, "Oh, no, let's use them." So they came back to Sydney and came for use on our house. So to Clinton, thank you. To the builders, Mick and Promina, you're amazing. We love you. And to Stephen, who's the bricklayer, who, you remember last year or the year before, it rained for like 4 months straight, literally. Stephen laid every brick on the house in that rain with a tarp over him and 2 jackets. He's from Ireland, so he should be used to it, but to him. And lastly, to Stuart, who was the project architect. The clients were difficult. And most of the people in the office, when you say you have to do the house for the boss, it's a career-limiting move. But Stuart's amazing. He put up with me and my husband, Mike, who Mike puts up with me deciding that we're going to build a house every 6 years. It's going to be an investment in thought, and he says yes, so thanks to him. But Stuart had to deal with Mike and me and Eric. So thanks to Stuart. You're a remarkable person and a remarkable architect. I really appreciate it. Thanks.
Wow, what can't he do? Congratulations to Adam Dow and the team at SJB. Chapter President, Architect, Homeowner, and now winner of one of the most prestigious awards here tonight. He'll be serving... No, he won't. Drinks later, maybe? Well, this brings us to the final main award category, Public Architecture, which culminates with the announcement of the prestigious Sulman Medal. The jury considered a short list of 8 projects in this category. Let's take a look at the nominees.
Art Gallery of New South Wales Library and Members Lounge by Tonkins Alika Greer Architects. Art Gallery of New South Wales Sydney Modern Building by lead consultant Sana, executive architect Architectus. Bondi Pavilion Restoration and Conservation by Tonkins Alika Greer Architects. City of Sydney Street Furniture by Grimshaw and City of Sydney. Eastern Creek Speedway by Cox Architecture. 5 Community Cultural and Civic Hub by Designing Sydney, Lacoste and Stevenson and Manuel Gautran Architecture. St George Sailing Club Sans Souci by John Jacker Architects. And Sydney Opera House Concert Hall Renewal by ARM Architecture.
Some top stuff there. In the category of public architecture, the jury have awarded a commendation to 5 Community Cultural and Civic Hub by Designing Studio, Lacoste Stevenson and Manuel Gautran Architecture. Congratulations to the team once again on their second commendation this evening. The jury have given 3 awards in this category. The first award for public architecture goes to Bondi Pavilion Restoration and Conservation by Tonkins Alika Greer Architects. Please join us.
The restoration and conservation of the Bondi Pavilion transforms a much-loved but ageing Sydney icon into a delightful and functional series of public spaces serving the community and civic needs of this famous beachside destination. Commended for a series of strategic subtractions opening up a new axial entry and gateway to the beach from Campbell Parade. Congratulations, Tonkins Alika Greer Architects.
Committee meeting? Okay. The jury have also given an award for public architecture to Art Gallery of New South Wales Library and Members Lounge, also by Tonkins Alika Greer Architects. Spin around, guys. Spin around.
A once closed, non-publicly accessible portion of the 1988 wing of the Art Gallery at Lower Level 3 has been significantly transformed and beautifully refurbished into a highly public library, children's library, art archive and new members lounge. The transformation acknowledges the original Sulman Award-winning wing by extending and enhancing distinctive elements. Congratulations, Tonkin Zuleika Greer Architects.
All the way to the back again. No. Okay. The final award for public architecture, an award, goes to St George Sailing Club, Sans Souci, by John Jacker Architects.
The St George Sailing Club at Sans Souci appears to be a low-key and simple response. It is in fact a highly appropriate series of spaces and shelters that respond to place, community, circulation, scale and function in a poetic and cohesive way. Beautifully detailed, the first impression is of recycled vertical boardwalk timbers that enclose the boat store with elegantly resolved structure and form. Congratulations, John Jacker Architects.
Okay, and now to the highest honour that you can bestow for public architecture, the Sulman Medal. This year, the Sulman Medal goes to the Art Gallery of New South Wales, Sydney Modern Building, lead consultant Sana, with executive architect, Architectus. Please join us.
Situated on Gadigal country, adjacent to the 151-year-old Art Gallery of New South Wales, Sana and Architectus have skillfully negotiated a complex site spanning the Eastern Distributor motorway and a 20+ metre topographic fall to create a fresh and engaging gallery that opens new possibilities for experiencing art in Sydney. Sydney Modern is freer in movement, more connected to the landscape surrounding it, and more diverse in the scale and type of art it can house. Congratulations, Sana and Architectus.
Well, thank you very much. It's my privilege to accept this award on behalf of the Architectus team. We're the executive architects. But of course, Sejima-san and Nishizawa-san, who are the lead architects from Sana, they couldn't be here tonight, but we're very privileged to accept this award on behalf of them as well. I'd like to thank the jury again, and also our very good clients, so represented this evening here by Maud Page and Miranda Carroll from the NSW. Also NSW, Infrastructure New South Wales, and our builders, Richard Crooks, represented by Michael Bradburn this evening. Thank you all very much. It was a diabolically complex project on a diabolical site, and it wouldn't have been done without these three people beside me. So I'd like to thank them by name. Rod Perret, John Jeffrey, and Leanne Cronje. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay, congratulations to Sana and Architectus. Well, the next announcement is now in its second year, known simply as Imagine. Now, the Imagine Project Award is a celebration of a project by an architect in their early career in areas such as leadership, collaboration, application of expertise and quality of architecture. I'd like to invite Shadi Jahan from Alspec to help hand out this award. There were 8 projects considered by the jury.
Aya's Place by Curious Practice. Balmain House by Saha. Camperdown Memorial Rest Park Amenities. by Iansnimo Architects. House for Bees by Downey North. Lane Cove House by Saha. Modus Operandi Brewery by Prevalent. Rosso Verdi by Carter Williamson. And The Village Preschool by Carter Williamson.
Without any further ado, the Imagine Project Award goes to Lane Cove House by Saha.
A bold and optimistic response to a brief accommodating 3 generations within a beloved inner suburban lot, a significant project on many levels, and a fitting winner of the Imagine Project Award. The multi-generational house offers a compelling strategy to address some of Sydney's broader housing challenges, with a solution that is both regenerative and affordable, while also increasing density and maintaining local character and social ties. Congratulations, Saha.
Thank you so much again, and thanks again, of course, to the jurors who are an absolute pleasure showing around all of our projects. Had an amazing time. This is a project we're really passionate about. They're friends of ours, and at the moment there's actually not 2 families, there's 3 families living in there. There's 9 people in this house, which is something we're probably as proud of as this award. But thank you so much for having us. It's a pleasure.
What a night, eh? Get some footy tips off them later, maybe. Okay, congratulations once again to the team at Saha. Now, there are only 2 announcements to go, and the first is the Blackett Prize. To say a few words and introduce the nominees, I'd like to invite the Chair of the Regional Division Committee, Phoebe Glanville.
Thanks, Peter. Good evening, everyone. The Regional Committee represents members in New South Wales outside of Greater Sydney. Through our work, we strive to promote and advocate for high-level design excellence throughout regional New South Wales. We aim to be a platform for public and peer recognition of outstanding architecture and support regional members. As part of the Regional Committee, our role is also to be on the jury for the prestigious Blackett Prize. The Blackett Prize was named for the 19th century architect Edmund Blackett, whose picturesque Gothic revival-style churches can be found in many country towns. It was established in 1964, introduced by the New South Wales chapter, to recognise and promote design excellence in regional contexts. This year, the Regional Committee have awarded the 2023 Blackett Prize to the Goulburn Performing Arts Centre by Brewster Hawth Architects.
The Goulburn Performing Arts Centre incorporates an adaptive reuse of the original Goulburn Town Hall in providing the city with its first purpose-built professional theatre space. The design incorporates a thoughtful, well-resolved and carefully detailed integration of the original Town Hall buildings. It provides the main public spaces with a new and efficiently designed contemporary theatre located behind the heritage buildings. Congratulations, Brewster Hawth Architects.
Like to thank everyone and thank the jury. Basically, we're quite excited about this because we do quite a lot of regional work. So this project was quite close to our hearts, and it was a good opportunity to put theatre back into their community, which was lovely. Thank you.
Good stuff. Thanks, Phoebe, and congratulations once again to the team at Brewster Hawth Architects. And that brings us to the final award of the night, the announcement of the New South Wales Architecture Medallion, the most prestigious accolade awarded by the New South Wales chapter. Now, the New South Wales Architecture Medallion is selected by the jury chairs from the field of named award winners across all categories. the jury have awarded the 2023 New South Wales Architecture Medallion to Sydney Opera House Concert Hall Renewal by ARM Architecture.
Completed in celebration of its 50th year, the Sydney Opera House Concert Hall refurbishment is a masterpiece. A symphony of design, innovation and acoustic excellence, seamlessly merging the past with the present. This remarkable achievement pays homage to the complex history of an undisputed masterpiece of 20th century architecture, while reimagining its interior spaces to augment and improve the experience of both the public and performers. The result is a renewed concert hall for the next generation, on par with the world's greatest auditoria. This accomplishment deserves the highest recognition, and we applaud the entire project team for their remarkable performance. Congratulations, ARM Architecture.
They do go on a bit, don't they? We might both say something if that's okay. When we came here 5 years ago to start and to build a new home for ARM in Sydney, we were strangers in a strange land. And I'm sure that there are more than a few of you who thought when ARM awarded that job, you must be kidding. But it is wonderful tonight to stand here 5 years later and see so many friends and colleagues out here in the audience, and to feel genuinely a part of the architectural community here. And we owe all of that really to the house, which is extraordinary. It was our first job here in Sydney, and we do hope that it's not our last. In fact, it's not. So I do want to say actually very quickly, Andrew has led this job for 7 years. We were both in short pants when we started, and he really is a truly extraordinary architect and has led the job with a level head, great skill and extraordinary insight, I think, and really so much of this belongs to him.
Thank you, Mark. Too kind. Thank you to all the juries we took around. It was wonderful to show everyone the work that we'd done. Thank you to the Institute. I took another type of jury around for the first time today, which was my own children. They were perhaps the harshest critics. But if you indulge me with naming some thank yous, I mentioned Louise from the house, but all of the people at the house were wonderful to work with. Ian, Ziggy, Lou, Paul, Daniel, and so on. The entire project team were fantastic. Our wonderful consultant team, Muller BBM, fantastic German acousticians, Arup, Warren Smith and Partners, Stenson Varming. A number of these were original Opera House consultants. Design 5. Yes, and also, as Mark rightly points out, our fantastic building team from Taylor Construction. Not an easy build, as you can imagine, but one that they pulled off with aplomb. Mark rightly mentioned the work of Peter Hall. Learning about his work, researching his work, understanding his work, and interacting with his work was truly a great privilege. It's not something we took on lightly at all. It's something we have learnt a hell of a lot about, and his work is of equal to to the work of Utz, and it was a great privilege to work on this project. To our team as well, to everyone that has worked on it over 7 years, that's been a lot of people. I won't name those, everyone there, but to all of them, everyone has made a fantastic contribution to this project. Thank you, we're truly blown away. Yeah.
Well done, ARM, for a commission that could have been a blessing or a curse, and tonight we salute you. Well done. Amazing stuff. And hey, folks, that brings us to the end of the awards. Now, congratulations to all the winning practices and indeed all of the entrants. And of course, the clients. What about a shout out for the clients who commissioned the work? Well done. And those streaming in who might be looking. Please join me in thanking also our corporate partners and sponsors for their ongoing support, and for the Institute and the awards program, all the team behind that. Great to have you all here tonight. Now keep it going for the Institute staff, who's been led by Peter Fry, their tireless work to make these awards possible. Thanks for the honour of emceeing this incredible historical event here. It's this great new building. Just a reminder for those who won commendations, please see the Institute staff next to the media wall to pick up your certificates and get a photo with Dave, our professional photographer. Now, folks, this is important. If you're keen to keep the celebrations going, we have an after party at the Riley Hotel. Shout out to them because they're already streaming us in Darlinghurst, where the festivities will be ongoing and have already started, apparently. Indeed, a shout out to those watching at Riley Street Hotel. We'll see you shortly, right? It's been a pleasure to be your host tonight. Congratulations to all. Have a great evening. Good night.
You've been watching the 2023 New South Wales Architecture Awards, proudly supported by the Australian Institute of Architects, national and state partners.
You can easily bring your projects to life with Dulux BIM Solutions. Dulux BIM Solutions provides easy-to-use BIM content, so you can add Dulux colours and product ranges to your Revit and ArchiCAD models quickly and simply. The latest Dulux BIM content update now includes the Dulux World of Colour and product ranges from Dulux Powder Coatings, Dulux Protective Coatings, Dulux Acrotex, Dulux Avista and Intergrain Timber Finishes. Dulux BIM Solutions, inspiring creativity.
An award-winning Tasmanian winery has rethought the Salador experience with the aid of a carbon-neutral brick.
The material palette was selected to respond to the way that Lou and Joe make their wine, which they're all about being as natural and being as authentic as possible. When we were picking materials, we wanted that and a response to the Tasmanian context and a way to sort of ground a small building in the landscape.
We were approached to see if we could help Dave and Barbara with their new home. It was an immediate yes. Being part of the community is stitched into Taubman's DNA, and we'll do what we can where we can to help. Dave and Barbara have fostered 400 children in the last 27 years, so we obviously needed a really robust product. We used Taubman's Endure, which is a water-based low VOC product that has been approved by the National Asthma Council of Australia's Sensitive Choice program.
Colorbond, made by Australia.